Alright, I've been watching more movies and stuff. I watched this one called Strange Illusion, and so I wrote about it. So essentially a teenager named Paul has a dream while out with a doctor that his widowed mother had begun seeing a man with a murderous secret. And sinister in nature, his dream was incredibly precognitive, and he quickly makes his way home. Upon arrival, it appears the help of the house is in agreement regarding the man ultimately being the suspicious character. For a few initial instances, it seems Paul's fretting is overblown concern, as Brett, the man soon to be engaged to his mother, gives off no innately unnerving vibe. However, behind closed doors, with the aid of what was supposed to be his own doctor, expresses his own sense of unease at Paul's prying about business he seemingly shouldn't know. Proving Paul's hypothesis correct, the man is in fact out for revenge against the family of Detective Cartwright, or the late father of the protagonist, for legal trouble. Paul's sister comes to attention on the issue, divulging to her brother that while swimming, Brett had forced himself on her, explaining that though he stopped as quickly as he attempted, quote, I felt sort of queer about him ever since, unquote. All the while, in spite of Paul's clear unease and Brett's progressively more insistent attempts for a swift marriage, the widowed Miss Cartwright remains incredibly oblivious to the situation. A fool in love, so to say. So overall, the subtext of the movie seems to lend itself to the idea that the gut instinct of a child's intuition is usually more accurate than mirror neurons being manipulated in a fully developed frontal lobe. If that makes any sense. It's like, children and animals have like an innate intuition when it comes to people. And 9 out of 10 times the child is right, or the animal is right, not to trust that individual. I'll always defer to an animal or a child in trusting a person. Simple as that. Then I wrote a poem. I wrote a few more poems. I'm always watching poems. Then I started that Pluribus show from Vince Gilligan. It has the same person who played Kim Wexler in Better Call Saul. Her name is Carol in this show, and that's pretty good. But anyway, this is a poem about cynicism. It's very short. Cynicism, confirmation bias, castrated compassion, coagulated recognition, patterns persistent, people piss along pitilessly. And then I got another one on sort of the nature of wisdom. And this one came about because I was at work and I was listening to a podcast interview with Kat Von D that was conducted by Theo Von, a guy who I really don't know all that much about, but I know people either really like him or really don't like him. I don't really care. The most I've ever listened to him was with the Kat Von D thing, and this interview he did with Bernie Sanders a bit back, which I guess it's not really an interview if it's a podcast like that. It's more of a conversation, but I kind of appreciate that more than a lot of interviews because it gets more out of it, I think. And that's kind of how I try to do interviews. That's why all my interviews with Shane Bugbee are like hours long. It's just a recorded conversation. Like, there's more to get out of it. There's more to gain from that, I feel, than, just blunt questions. Though at the same time, I can do a pretty damn good interview. Anyway, but nonetheless, Theo Von expressed an interesting idea regarding the function of the brain as a organizational tool in regards to conscious perception. And I find that really interesting of a way to describe it. It sort of reminds me of a lot of what Ayn Rand talked about in her book Philosophy Who Needs It. That essentially we accumulate this understanding over the lifetime, and as lifetimes go on and on and on, like it levels and layers upon itself. Like it starts right here, then it adds more. I declare a thumb war. 5, 6, 7, 8. Try to keep your thumb straight. Anyway, that's being held up by a book. Anyway, Anyway, I felt it was a very interesting way to describe the perception of acute wisdom of pre-recognized knowledge, if that makes sense. Because it's like, God, that's so fucked up now. Oh my god, it's upside down too. Alright, I'll be upside down for that moment. Anyway, wisdom, preconditioned instinct, incessive pleading, distinct awareness, inconceivable ignorance, twice the pride, double the fall, nothing surrounding a pale blue ball, focus is a flaw, locust, internal, consuming, what is my own law? Give me a second, I'm going to reread this. Wisdom, preconditioned instinct, incessive pleading, distinct awareness, inconceivable ignorance, twice the pride, double the fall, nothing surrounding a pale blue ball, focus is a flaw, locust, internal, consuming, what is my own law? Insincerely insecure, near, never known, only implied, still a hill for, Jesus fucking Christ, still a hill for, I guess, downward demise. I have no idea what I wrote there. I have genuinely no fucking idea what that says. And I have like a PhD in reading shitty handwriting, but I can't read that. I have no fucking idea what that said. And my handwriting generally isn't shitty. I just can't fucking read that. I have no idea what I tried to say there. But anyway, I got that, and, you know, I was walking, I was out, my friend invited me, to go on a little walk through some ditches, and I found this. I don't even like Nine Inch Nails, but I picked it up anyway. It's completely empty. I'm filling it up with random shit now. But yeah, I found that. That was pretty cool. Then, yeah, basically just sort of working on other shit till I can get to Chicago, because I got the train ticket and stuff all there. Then, you know, I'll basically just get everything soon. And yeah, I wonder, do I have anything else written from here? No, I'm not sure. I certainly do, I just don't have anything I'm going to read right now. So yeah.